What's up, guys? We have a very funky ass leg day. It's a part of his programmed leg day. His coach is Christopher Barkat. We're starting this workout off with calves, and then we're doing tons of hamstring work. A little bit of pressing as well, in terms of leg pressing and stuff like that. Actually going down to SoCal in just a few hours again. So we'll be taking that long drive, reuniting our dogs, seeing Brittany. Yeah, right. Alright, let's get started. Oh.
It wasn't one of his, but it was a leg day with Brittany. Alright guys, first exercise. We're doing 3 sets of 20. There's no seated calf here, so we're improvising on this freaking leg extension.
Dude, those shoes are sexy.
Yeah?
Yeah, what are those?
What are these? I think these are just the Nike Free Trainer 3.0 version 4.
This guy has a new pair of shoes every day.
What is up, guys? I'm gonna take the mic. Hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, por favor. So after this set, I actually ended up grabbing 45-pound plates because they're a little bit thicker. I was able to get a little bit deeper. Generally, most gyms usually have a seated calf raise, but this gym just doesn't. And sometimes someone might be using it, and if there's nobody using the leg extension, feel free to give these a go. I definitely recommend using 45-pound plates or thicker plates for this. And also put those plates a little bit close to the machine, because that's going to give you a little bit more dorsiflexion and allow you to get a little bit deeper. Your range of motion will be increased. By doing that, you won't be stopped by the ground. So we did about 3 sets of 20, I believe, of that, followed by 5 sets of 8 to 10 here on this. And the main tip I can give you with calves is, of course, frequency. Train them, 2 give or take times a week. Anywhere between 1.5 to 3 times a week is great. Definitely at least twice if possible, standing and seated. But most importantly, the thing that I think a lot of people mess up is their tempo, and they completely forget to pause at the bottom, and they're just using their Achilles tendon to kind of spring themselves back up. So instead of just instantly coming back up at the bottom of the rep, give it a pause for 1 to 2 seconds. That's probably the most important thing, followed by nice controlled, maybe even slow, depends on your definition of that word, negative. Next up, we did 3 sets of 12 to 15 single leg curls, and you can see the hamstrings popping through the pants. Looks pretty dope. If I could go back in time, I definitely would have done more seated and bent over hamstring curls over the years. I did a lot of squatting and deadlifting, and those definitely had perks and helped me build up a lot of my muscle. But I would have added, another 5 or 10 minutes here and there in this workout and in that workout over the, 10 years of more leg curls, specifically seated leg curls and these bent over leg curls, but definitely the seated leg curls. I used to be a part of the thought train, and it's not necessarily wrong, but it's like, if you do lots of squats and deadlifts, you don't really have to do if any accessory work. And it just depends. It totally just depends. If you want complete development, you're going to want to include quite a bit of accessory work all the time, pretty much all the time. So there was time periods where I had very little to no leg curling and leg extensions. And for example, with the seated leg curl versus something like even a Romanian or stiff leg deadlift, you're doing quite a bit of work with that Romanian stiff leg deadlift, but you're not necessarily getting a complete hamstrings workout, working all heads of the hamstrings. So if possible, I definitely recommend getting some kind of leg curl 1 to 2 times a week. Like, at least if you're hitting it twice a week, some sort of leg curl, whether it's 1 or 2 exercises per session, but twice a week around there, I think you'll definitely be set for the long run. Anyways, this is a very interesting exercise. This is a lying on your back vertical leg press using a Smith machine. Some gyms actually have a vertical leg press, and I would rather much use those. But this is a quad dominant movement, despite being placed on a hamstrings day. And a lot of people will like change their footing on leg press, or do this exercise here and call it a hamstring movement. But no, it's actually still a quad movement. It's just where basically we're using this exercise to hit the hamstrings in a different way through a leg press variation, one which probably has the greatest amount of tension on the hamstrings for a leg press. Typically, regardless, it's a quad dominant movement, but the main use for an exercise like this is mostly just kind of variety and to keep training fun. And if you don't need something like this to keep training fun, then you probably don't necessarily have to do this exercise, but you definitely can utilize this exercise to get a little bit, to hit your hamstrings in just a slightly different way, keeping in mind that it's still a quad dominant movement. Now, this is very different from how I would normally, hit a legs workout, since I'm training with my buddy Chris Elkins and with his program. But after all of that good stuff, after isolation movement for the hamstrings, after calves, after that leg press, then we did 3 or 4 sets of 12 with stiff leg deadlifts. And on these, I'm making sure to really control my negative, not necessarily going crazy slow, but controlling the damn negative. And as you can see, I'm actually allowing that bar path to come back forward a bit, so that this, to the best of my ability, so that I place the most amount of stress on my hamstrings as possible. Because if that weight comes closer to me, then I might start treating it more and more like a conventional deadlift. And when the weight is a little bit above your toes, in this sort of way, for most people, you're much more able to hit your hamstrings. Now, this is typically an exercise that I do directly after squats. It's usually the second exercise in a leg workout, whereas on this workout, it's like the fifth exercise, I think. So definitely different. It's much harder when done this way. But it definitely just depends on your goals. If you wanted to prioritize the progression of this movement or any movement, you'd want to place it earlier inside of a workout. You want to put it as the first exercise, or at worst, the second exercise. The reason why it's so deep into this workout is because I'm simply doing Chris Elkins' program with him just for fun. And I've actually found it to help me with my productivity, getting to the gym at like 6 to 8 a.m., get out of the way, and then I'll do work for the rest of the day. Whereas my normal routine is waking up between 6 to 9 a.m., eating, and then gymming around noon. Quite often, I'm not actually starting my work day until 2 or 3 p.m., whereas with this little gym schedule, training with my boy Chris. But I've been really enjoying these workouts with my boy Elkins. The priority with these workouts is much more hypertrophy compared to my typical goal of generally half and half hypertrophy and strength. It's usually how I like to train. I'm usually focused on building up my 3 to 6 rep squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press at all times. Whereas I'm training in just multiple rep ranges with my boy Chris, and in general higher rep ranges, and not training anything below 5 reps. So just something different. It's currently just a phase that I'm in, a training block, so to speak, or a training block, but a phase, so to speak. And currently enjoying it, milking it out. after we did the stiff leg deadlifts, we did 3 or 4 sets of 15-ish or maybe even 20-ish seated leg curls right here. Been really enjoying doing these. Quite often I do these plantar flex, which means pointing your toes down, and what that does is it kind of it helps isolate the hamstrings quite a bit, because the gastrocnemius crosses the knee, and when you dorsiflex like this, you involve your gastrocnemius, your calf, and it helps assist with the movement. So that's why you're able to do more weight when your toes are pointed up versus pointed down. So sometimes I do it pointed up, sometimes I do it pointed down. It just depends. On this specific workout, it called for toes pointed up or dorsiflexion. And last but not least, we did BFR, blood flow restriction, quad extensions for a set of 30 followed by 3 sets of 15, which is the typical protocol for this. So what you do is you hit a set of 30, and then you rest for about 30 seconds, hit a set of 15, rest for 30 seconds, and then hit it for 2 more sets of 15. So all in all, super freaking fun workout, great workout, definitely hypertrophy based, loved it. All right guys, workout is complete. I borrowed this Dodge Journey right here for the next week or so for this trip down to SoCal. One, because I drive a Hyundai Tiburon 2008. It's got bucket seats, and I think I should have stopped riding in a car with bucket seats the day I got that car. I don't think that's good for my back at all. And one of the little experiments I'm testing is just seeing how driving goes with a car that doesn't have bucket seats. And by bucket seats, I mean not these. Bucket seats, like your back is totally rounded at the bottom, whereas this is much more natural for my back. So I'm gonna see how that goes, and gotta go home first and then pack up my shit. Got a lot of stuff I gotta pack since I'm gonna be down there for like 5 days. And yeah. All right guys, I wanna show you the car before we head off. Here is the front. Got my backpack full of my laptop, books, stuff like that. Got some bananas over there. Trent's dinner, my snacks for the road. In here, we have my clothes for about a week. Maybe even a week and a half, just in case I stay longer. Over here we have Trent's food, enough for at least a week, I think. I put in the individual packies, put some ice on top of it. Hopefully, I really hope that stays all frozen and good. I better get going. Over here, my gym bag, we got some whey protein. Over there we got ice on top of bulk cooked chicken and so on. And some other vegetables that if they're left here, they'll just go bad. And then back here, this is where Trent will be hanging out, and I'll tie him to this, or I'll basically tie him to this thing so that he can't, jump over there or get hurt or anything like that.
Secured Tommen's blessing and lessened the crown's debt by close to 1 million dragons. Her heart was soaring as she allowed the high...
Yeah, I got one problem too.
Alright guys, I just arrived here in Hollywood. I'm waiting for Brittany to open up this damn gate so I can park my car. Here she, wait, wrong window.
I was like, fuck, I'm on the wrong side. Hi.
Trent's here.
I want to say hi to Trent.
Oh, you want to say hi? Alright, I'm gonna...
He almost licked me.
Almost. One day. One day you'll open your mouth and he'll just...
He licked me like 30 times last weekend.
Oh, damn. That's more times than I did. Open it. He's strapped in, so he can't get out. Oh! Careful!
Beautiful. Hello. Hi. Oh. Did you miss me?
Open it. Oh, shit. Oh, actually, it isn't a lot of shit, but like, look.
Are you moving in?
Yeah, I am. And I don't know why.
That suitcase, though. Like, you're literally moving in for like weeks.
Yeah, well, actually, because I'm coming back
Well, I'm supposed like we have the Louis C.K. concert, so I might just fucking stay for a full week. I don't know, fuck it, whatever. That's why I brought hella shit. I brought my vegetables so
You were planning this. I'm just gonna stay for 2 weeks.
not 2 weeks.
Ready?
All right, guys, it's the reunion of two best friends.
What's that? Oh.
Oh,
He wants to look you in the mouth.
oh my god. You gotta look at me in the mouth. Get me look in the mouth. Okay. Is it on?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ow! Fuck!
Oh my
I
god.
gotta fake my eyes. I got LASIK surgery, bro.
He's crazy.
Ow!
He's insane.
Holy fuck!
Did he bite you?
I don't know, he fucked me up somehow. Like, my face just hurts. I think this is what true happiness looks like, guys. Like, this is definitely happiness. Getting some light on this. Don't got no light. Damn, who's winning this fight, though?
Blue's like biting Trent's knees.
Blue is
ass.
fucking savage. Holy gosh.
God.
Check this out, guys. Before I came, she went to the grocery store, got Greek yogurt, fruits. She stocked up on the Japanese sweet potatoes, got more fruits, and most of all, most importantly, Brussels sprouts. Oh, by the way, I found my book. It was in my car.
When did you lose it?
Like
Last
a
week,
ago.
right?
Yeah. Alright, guys, so finally I get to eat. Look how fucking purple that is. I gotta put this under the light. It's fucking. Alright, guys, we're setting up our dinner. I want to show you one thing real quick. Look how purple that potato is right there. That's not the Japanese one, that's just a purple sweet potato. But over here is the Japanese sweet potato. And here it is, guys. Here is the dinner with the lovely Brittany. Ow.